SSC public examination is approaching very fast. In social studies subject, there will be single question paper of 100 marks. No objective type questions will be there. Out of 4 sections, only in section 4 there will be internal choice questions. Information skill is one of the academic standard of social studies which have weightage of 15%. That means 15 marks questions will be asked from this academic standard in forthcoming SSC public examination of April 2022. You have to observe or study a given graph, text, timeline, map or table and have to answer the given questions in examinations. If you go through and concentrate on the given question, definitely you will be able to score 15 out of 15 marks from this section confidently and easily. Hello friends, this is Anil Kumar Pradhan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel AKP Social Science. So today in this video we will discuss about graphs is one of the important part of our social studies where you can score easily 15 marks out of 15. Let's start. This graph shows India and Pakistan's military expenditure. The question is given, observe the graph and answer the questions given below, or sometimes they may ask analyze the given graph. Answer any 4 observations from the graph or analyze the graph given above. The answers are, both India and Pakistan spending inordinate amount of scarce fund on arming themselves against each other. So both countries are spending more money on military expenditure. Second, graph showing military expenditure of both countries from 1988 to 2011. Third, in terms of GDP, India is spending little less than that of Pakistan. So Pakistan is little high, it is around 3, whereas India is little less than 3. In terms of military expenditure in rupees, India is spending more than that of Pakistan. Which conflict is going on between India and Pakistan? It is very clear and everyone knows it is the Jammu and Kashmir conflict. Which country military expenditure as percentage GDP is more? It is very clear that percent GDP, Pakistan's GDP is a little high. Which country military expenditure is more in terms of rupees? So it is India. What does this graph explain? So this graph explains about India and Pakistan's military expenditure. India population sex ratio between 1951 to 2011. Here 1. What does the above graph explain? The above graph explain about sex ratio of India from 1951 to 2011. In which year least sex ratio is recorded? Least is here 923. It was recorded in 1991. How was the sex ratio recorded, and what is meant by sex ratio? It is, sex ratio is calculated as the number of female per 1000 male in total population. How many times the female number is recorded more than 935? 941, 946, 943 are the 3 times only. It is worrying about the sex ratio in India. What might be the reason for it? The reasons are superstition, dowry system, attraction on male baby, male domination society, etc. are the cause for low sex ratio in India. What was the number of females per 1000 male in 1951? It was 946. What is the sex ratio of India at independence? That means in by time of 1947, it was 946. What was the sex ratio in 2011? It was 943 per 1000 male. Write any 4 observations from the graph or analyze the graph given above. Here it is very clear that you can write any 4 or 5 points from here, or very simple, This graph shows about India population sex ratio from 1951 to 2001. India's sex ratio was little high in 1951 and it was very less in 1991. By 2011, it was 943. Sex ratio means number of female per 1000 male. So you observe from this graph. This is your analysis. India population in millions from 1911 to 2011. And population in million given here, years are given down. Observe the increment in population of India and its growth from 1901 to 2011 graph and answer the questions given below. What does the graph explain? The graph explain about shows increment in population of India and its growth between 1901 to 2001. In which year did the population decrease? Here you see 238.4, 252.2, 251.32. So earlier, previous decade, 1911 it was 252. In 1921 it was 251. So in the year 1921 there is a decrease of population. From which year onwards its population continuously increasing. Here no doubt on 1931 onwards there is no decrease at all. It is increasing continuously. What could be the reason for the speed with which increase took place after Indian independence? Because infant mortality was dropped, improved medical facilities, life expectancy was rose, high fertility rate due to early marriages, religious superstitions, low death rate, high birth rate, etc. are the reason for this. Why 1921 called great dividing year? Here see 1921 it was decreased. Before 1921 and after 1931 the population increased constantly. But in the year 1921 the population is decreased. That's why it is called as a great dividing year. For how many years the census is being taken in India? It is clear from this table. 1901 to 1911 10 years and 1911 to 21 10 years. So for every 10 years there will be census in India. Observe the graph and answer the questions given below. This is about fertility rate in India from 1961 to 2011. Here total birth per woman is given. Question. What does the above line graph explain? The above line graph explains fertility rate in India from 1961 to 2011. What is fertility rate? Fertility rate means the number of total birth per woman is called fertility rate. How many children have a woman in 1961? It was in 1961 5.9 means around 6. When the fertility rate is near 2.7, what does it imply? It indicates that each woman was likely to bear more than 2 children, that is nearly 3 children on average. What do you observe mainly from the graph? Fertility rate is gradually decreasing. See here from 5.9 to it reduced to 2.7. What are fertility rate of India and AP in 2011 census? Fertility rate of India in 2011 is 2.7 whereas that of AP is 1.9. Write any 4 observations from the graph or analyze the graph given above. So what we got from this graph is, this graph explains about fertility rate of India from 1961 to 2011. Next, the fertility rate of India is decreasing from 1961 to 2011. It was very high during 1961, less during 2011. Fertility. Next, calorie intake per person in rural area. Observe the graph and answer the questions given below. Write any 4 observations from the graph or analyze the graph given above. What we analyze here is marginalized community are consuming 25%, lower middle 25, upper middle 25, high income 25. These are the expenditure given here. Question 1. What percent of people in rural India are consuming less calorie than that of required? They need around 2400 calories, whereas only 25% are getting. So remaining 75% are not getting this one. What is the reason for consuming less calorie than are required in rural area? Because of they are very poor, poverty, lack of purchasing power. They cannot buy. Define the term marginal community. Marginal community in the sense very poor or very poor. What is the calorie intake per person? High income group. High income group is here 2521. What percentage of people take proper diet? Only this percent, that is 25% only taking proper diet. Remaining are less than required. What does this graph explain? This graph explain about calorie intake per person in rural area. Observe the graph and answer the given questions. This is about yield of select food grains in kilograms per hectare between 1970 to 2011. Question number 1. Which crop yield is more than others? Here it is very clear. Wheat is more than that of any other crop. Which crop always had low yield? Low yield means less are jowar and oilseed are very less. What does this graph explain? This graph explain about yield of select food grains from 1970 to 2011. How much yield record paddy in 2010-11? 10-11 paddy is around more than 2000, less than 2, so around 2300 kg per hectare paddy. Which crop yield have slow increase? No doubt it is jowar and oil seeds. Write any 4 observations from the graph. What we observe from here is this graph explain about yield of select food grains from 1970-71 to 2010-11. Second, here wheat is more produced and less production is jowar and oilseed. There is increase in wheat production and slow increase of jowar and oilseed is our observation from this graph. Armament rates. Observe the graph and answer the given question. Here it is military expenditure by great powers Germany, Austria-Hungary, Great Britain, Russia, Italy and France from 1880 to 1914. Question is, why in 1914 the armament race is high? Before 1914 the insecurity caused the high armament race. Insecurity in the sense each country become enemy to each other. Countries become enemy to each other. What are the triple alliance countries? Here we know very well. Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy are the triple alliance countries. What are the triple entente countries? Here Great Britain, Russia and France are the triple entente countries. What is the major incident of 1914? In 1914 what happened? It was First World War or World War I. How much percentage was increased in military expenditure of European countries in between 1880 to 1914? See here, it was 1880 132, whereas 1914 397. So around 300% increase was there in armament, military expenditure. What is the relationship between industrialization and armaments race? When there is more industries, due to industrialization, the arms production was increased rapidly. What does the graph explain? What it explain? It explain about armament race between the great powers of Europe. Armament race among great powers of world between 1880 to 1914. See here, observe the climograph and answer the following questions. It is a temperature and rainfall of Hyderabad is given here. Question is, what is climograph? Climograph means a graph which shows average monthly value of temperature and rainfall for a given place. It's called a climograph. Which info can be shown in climograph? In climograph, one can see rainfall and temperature. Which month received highest rainfall? Here see highest rainfall in the month of August. August month. Which month experienced highest and lowest temperature? Highest temperature in the month of here see May and lowest is in December. So month of May received highest temperature and month of December is a low temperature. Why there is maximum amount of rainfall between June and October? Because of southwest monsoon season. Why is the temperature high between March and April? You know very well, because of it is a summer season in India. Identify relief conditions causing variations in temperature and rainfall. Here, one Hyderabad is in Deccan Plateau because this plateau is a little higher. It is about 600 meters from mean sea level. Land and water relation, that means Western Ghats and Arabian Seas relation. The movement of southwest monsoon. Here, observe the graph and answer the questions given below. This graph is about constitution amendments. First question. When was the Indian Constitution adopted? It is very clear. We know it well that Indian Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1949 and implemented on January 26, 1950. What is the need of Constitution amendment? We can see so many changes in society from time to time. That is why our rules should be changed as per day-to-day need. That's why we need a change in amendment in Constitution. How many amendments were made up to 2013? So if you count all this from 1951 to 2013, you will get around 99 amendments are made so far. In which decade the number of amendments are very low? So it was 1951 to 60. In which decade the number of amendments are more? It was 7180. In which decade equal number of amendments were made? 7180 and 8190 equal number of amendments are made. What is Constitutional Amendment? A minor improvement in the Constitution is called Constitutional Amendment. Observe the graph and answer the questions given below. War-related death from 1500 to 1999. What does graph explain? This graph explains about war-related deaths between 1500 to 1999. In which period war deaths were more? It was in 1900 to 1999. Which period death rate per 1000 people are very low? Very low is 1500 to 1599. Why between 1900 to 1999 the war deaths were very high? Because of due to world wars and cold wars. Write any 4 observations from the graph. What we observe from this graph is, this graph tells about war related deaths between 1500 to 1999. Second, the death rate was very low in 1500 to 1599. Next, the death rate was very high from 1900 to 1999 because of World War and Cold Wars. Sectoral share of employment between 1972 to 73 and 2009 and 10. Observe the pie graph and answer the questions given below. Write any 4 observations from the graph or analyze the graph given above. What we analyze, we will discuss here. What is the percentage of agriculture worker in 1972 to 73? It was 74%. Which sector employment was decreasing? See here, in 72-73, agriculture was 74. In 2009-10, agriculture reduced to 53. So, agriculture sector is decreasing. Which sector employment was increasing? In 72-73, industry 11 and service 15. Whereas 2009-10, industry 22 and service 20. So, both industry and service are increasing. From which sector employment shift happened? From where the employment are changing? So, it is from agriculture to industry and service sector. What is the percentage of agriculture worker in 2009 and 10? It was 53% only, 2009-10. What is the percentage of service and industry workers in 2009 and 10? Both, if you add 25 and 22, you will get 47% working in service and industry sector. How much increase in service sector employment? See here, service sector earlier 15, 72, 73 and 9, 10, it was 25. How much increase? 10% increase in it. Okay. How much decrease in agriculture employment in 2009 and 10 from 1972-73? Decrease in agriculture. Here 72-73, 74%, whereas 2009 and 10, 53% decrease of around 21%. Percentage share of purchase from public distribution system, rice, wheat in 2009 and 10. Observe the graph and answer the questions given below. What does graph explain? This graph explain about percentage share of purchases from PDS, rice and wheat 2009 and 10. Next, which state purchases rice in large quantity? Rice, when it comes to rice, see, highest 91 is Tamil Nadu. Which state purchases very low quantity of wheat? Very low quantity of wheat, here low quantity in the sense here 2013. So it was Bihar. Which state stands second place in purchase of rice? So in rice second place 84 India, 84 is Andhra Pradesh. Who maintained the buffer stock? In India it was FCR, Food Corporation of India maintains buffer stock. What percentage of total people consume wheat are purchasing from the ration shop? Wheat, all over India, wheat 28%. What percent of total people consume rice are purchasing from the ration shop? In the case of rice, all India 39%. I hope you like this video. Please share it among your friends. If you have any doubts, write in the comment box. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel and click the bell icon, by which you will get a notification of my new videos as soon as I post it on the YouTube. Thank you for watching my video.